I'm a 29-year-old man and I won the lottery. And it's enough that I don't have to work ever again if I don't want to. My lottery winnings are over $15 million. I plan to take some finance or business courses over some time so I can be smart about investments and responsible with the money. I am terrible when it comes to money management. I want to turn it into more money and hopefully get involved in charity. Crazy, I know, but I have always volunteered and it's a part of me. My problem? My family, mainly my parents, feel they are entitled to 1/4 of the amount. I offered to pay off their mortgages and give them a little sum, but that was not good enough once they found out the total amount. My family and I have a cordial relationship, but I moved an hour away to get away from my oppressive mother and distant father. My sisters are nice people, but we don't have a relationship. We are the definition of a distant, white, middle-class family. What it comes down to it, I don't feel like they are entitled to anything, and I'm being as generous as I can be, which I never said to them, but retrospectively, I guess it's implied. The conversation got ugly when my mom said, "We raised you." I immediately thought about how both my parents didn't talk to me for 5 years, from the ages 15 to 20 when they found out I was gay. I almost failed high school because of it. Is that raising someone? How do I explain to them what my plans are again and how it doesn't involve them? Should I speak to a lawyer about it, just in case? I can't see them suing, but money makes people do dumb things. I don't want to ruin the relationships, but I feel like the damage is done. I feel like a lot of people are going to say, screw them. What my parents did was terrible and, in my opinion, unforgivable. But with that being said, they have met my boyfriend, and we have had nice times together on special occasions. We spent the night and had long weekends together. That doesn't negate the selfishness and pettiness of what they expected from me winning, but I wasn't surprised by it either. I emailed them saying that what I offered was all they should expect, and I'm waiting for a reply. It's easy for people to create these overarching narratives of our lives, but I am no longer a victim of what happened, and my parents are the people that they are. I am still hurt by what happened, but I think a key point is that I have never spoken to them about what happened, and that is our family issue. Greed, family, and entitlement are very complicated. My parents do love me, even if it's sad. And one more thing, money is not life or happiness. I felt the same when I was $30,000 in debt, and now with $15 million in the bank. I'm not giving them 1/4. Just don't want to ruin what I have. I do plan on telling them firmly that it is my money and I will do what I want with it. I will be giving them as much as I want to, but attacking me and trying to make me feel guilty makes me want to give less. I might do it via email and say I don't want to hear another thing about it. My parents weren't vindictive about it, just didn't know what to do and were true to their ways. They just didn't talk. So, knowing everything that you know, was I the jerk? I can't even imagine doing something like that to a child, not talking to them for the most important years of their life. 15 to 20 years old is when a child becomes an adult, and this is when they need parental guidance the most. I can't imagine how hard it must have been for OP to navigate the world by himself, not feel supported when he needed their support the most. OP, here's what I think you should do. 1, write a will. God forbid anything happens to you, you get to choose who keeps the money. 2, move away and protect yourself through an attorney. You need a legal attorney by your side through all this in case your parents sue you for not giving them the money. 3, do not get revenge or pull some stunt on your parents. This will end up costing you more than you think you're going to get out of it. It's a tough situation to be in. I recommend you sit down with them and talk about how they messed you up as a kid and see if they'll take responsibility. If I was in OP's situation, I probably would have done about the same thing. Offer my parents some money, but if they feel entitled to more, I wouldn't give in to their demands. OP, you're not the jerk. Your parents, on the other hand, are being major jerks. Firstly, for not supporting you when you came out to them and not talking to you for 5 years. And secondly, because they feel entitled to your money. Let me know in the comments down below what you would do if you were in this situation. And is he the jerk or not? And why? Am I the jerk for not telling my family I'm a multimillionaire? I'm a mid-30s father who got lucky with cryptocurrency. I've been buying it for over 5 years now. My family thinks I'm lazy, but I'm secretly wealthy. We're millionaires. And I've got enough money to support my family for a decade without working. Possibly forever if we were frugal enough. However, both my wife and I are afraid of our friends and family treating us differently if they knew. All our families are solid middle class, and we haven't told anyone of our good fortune fortune. We shop at thrift stores and drive old cars. We haven't changed our lifestyle much. We're both cool with this arrangement, but I've been out of work for a year now. I just don't feel motivated to find another job. Our net worth has increased more in the past 48 hours due to Bitcoin mooning than I would have made in my old job in an entire year. Frankly, I don't want to do that anymore, and I don't have to. Well, some of my in-laws think I'm a bum because of this. My wife is a stay-at-home mom and has stood up for me and said that we have savings and we're doing fine, but the longer I'm unemployed, the more sideways glances I'm getting, and I've had a few people ask about the job search or make suggestions on new careers, even downright ask if we needed help with money. I assure them we're fine, but understandably they don't know how we're doing okay. I know they're coming from a place of good intentions, and perhaps some of their judgment is in my head. But I strongly dislike other people thinking of me as not providing for my family when I am. I'm tempted to just lie and make up some remote work job, but I don't think I'd want to keep up some lie just for appearances. Perhaps it's hard to sympathize with someone who admittedly got super lucky, but in all honesty, I derived a lot of my self-worth from being the stable provider bringing home the bacon for our family, which hasn't always been easy. And when I feel that's being questioned by family I care about, it sorta hurts. To clarify, I don't want to lie. I'm too dumb to keep that up. So making up a job isn't an option. I've cashed a lot of crypto out, paid off my mortgage, and have a lot in the bank. I'm not assuming it'll stay high forever. I never thought it would get this high. I'm learning to code and plan on getting work in that field eventually, just not urgently. My wife's parents are pretty awesome, and perhaps we haven't given them enough credit. I'll talk to my wife, but I'm considering telling them the big picture and leaving out the details. My wife's family seems to be financially stable, so I don't expect them to ask us for money if we ever tell them about our wealth. But you never know what comes up knowing your son-in-law has made millions online. We live close to our family and they're tight-knit. Everyone knows everything. And that's mostly a good thing because they are genuinely well-intentioned. They would help us out in a second if we needed it. The downside is when they think you need help and you don't, but this thread is helping me realize there are ways to assuage them without spilling the beans about owning Bitcoin. Her family isn't negative. Most are good people. They'd probably be fine, but we don't want it known outside our family too. I'm not exaggerating when I say that my investments are earning more within days than my entire previous annual wage. I know that's not likely to continue, but I've locked in a lot of those gains now. So, knowing what you know, am I the jerk for not telling my family that I'm a multimillionaire? OP. As long as you're wealthy and you have your investments doing well, you've got nothing to worry about. You have no idea how many people lose their wealth when they let everyone know about it. It's better to keep it to yourself. OP, you're not the jerk here, and neither are your in-laws. Why does my family feel entitled to my money? I am a 24-year-old female. Growing up, we did not have a lot. Both my maternal grandmother and mother were the ones working and supporting the family. They have both seen how bad it will be with incompetent partners that still want to be treated like kings. From an early age, they put it in me that I have to study well and get a good job and that it is the only way in life. I am incredibly thankful to have had them in my life. I graduated from a Tier 1 college, have a very good job, a side venture providing me a decent income, and am currently involved in short-term trading. I have goals in life where I want to travel, experience cultures, and take at least 2 staycations per year. I want to go for a PhD in the future. I want to be able to do all these by the time I hit 30. For this very reason, I maintain various funds, spend on myself, and chose to go child-free. I like kids, but I am too selfish to be the mother a child deserves, and I firmly believe it is much better to regret not having kids than regret having them. I have a 23-year-old cousin who never bothered about studying and was eager to get married straight out of college. I know it is her choice, but somehow I have always struggled with the idea of not having any source of income. She has seen women in our family struggle. My mom married straight out of college and my father deserted us. He was always in and out of our lives. We lived off barely $25 per month. She struggled to get back to her studies later, and now she is in a stable job earning over $900 per month, but it was a fight. I practically begged my cousin cousin to find a job herself, no matter the pay, and wait for marriage. She got married, and now she's about to have a child. The problem is, I have been saving up for a luxury vacation since the pandemic began. My mom wants me to give this money to my cousin because she is about to have a baby. Why should I? This is my hard-earned money. I chose not to have children because I will have to compromise in my life. Why am I responsible for her baby? Her husband is working a low-paying job. My cousin does not want to work and expects her parents and in-laws to take care of the baby. I told my mom I will give my cousin $1,500 and that's it. She got angry about it. She told my uncles and aunts about it and they are angry as well. I got pissed and said I will not give any money. My mom began bringing up false equivalencies, saying I wouldn't take care of her if she ever was in a dire situation. Excuse me? When my family got affected by the pandemic, and when we needed hospitalization, I was the one who paid for it. When my grandmother was suffering from cancer, I was the one paying for pain patches, treatments, and many more. When I landed my job, my dad stopped working, and I have been giving some money to him every month. When my uncle, who I don't interact with at all, was in dire need of money for medical expenses and his kids couldn't help him, I gave him money. And I did this gladly. Even after all this, I am guilt-tripped every time I spend on myself. I couldn't bear being at home. I indulge in luxury skincare, and every time my mom sees me use a product, she says who I could have given the money. My family dares to call me poor at money management because I spend for myself. They think I sit in front of the laptop and I get money for nothing. I feel annoyed that they feel entitled to my emergency savings fund and my education fund. I constantly have to hear, "You need to help your cousin. You have become arrogant after you began earning." I just want to scream, yes. I am arrogant. Yes, I am selfish. Leave me alone. My cousin also feels entitled to my hard-earned money. She called me up crying, saying if I don't help her, who will? I don't know. Maybe you should have thought about this before deciding to bring a baby into the world. I miss my grandmother terribly. I offered to gift her many things, but she always refused and wanted me to use my money for myself. She always stood up to my family whenever they wanted me to give them money. My mom has always been very nice to me. She was my best friend. I shared everything with her, and this sort of behavior from her was only from the last year. I guess I'm still processing it. Sometimes I feel like just giving them the money they ask for is the easier way out. But the more I keep doing this, the more they will keep expecting of me. It's a cycle. I don't think my family intends on repaying the amount I give. Come to think of it, not once did they mention repaying. They expected me to give them money just like that. Though I'm okay with it, it's their family. It hurts when they treat me so bad. Someone in the comments asks OP, I don't understand why they are pushing you to financially help your cousin with a child. Weren't they supposed to think of their finances before planning a child? OP responds by saying, this was my exact question to her. She got defensive and acted as if I told her to skin the baby alive once born. Her husband does not care, and she doesn't either. She skips medical checkups, but spends hours browsing the net. Her husband is reckless. In spite of being privileged enough to stay home and goes out drinking every week in cheap bars. My heart goes out to the baby, and I can only hope they are good parents. Some people shouldn't have children. OP, this is straight up abusive. You're only 24. You're so young. The entitlement is, wow, a lot. Get away from your family, OP, or they'll drain your bank account dry. That was r/entitled people. And if you like this video, click the video on your screen to watch another video. I'll see you guys there.